Hey, what's good? You're talking to a girl from the hood. Yeah, I got a little bit of sense, and I'm looking for a man that can be my fresh prince. I've been working hard trying to see just who I am. Trying to use my voice, learning how to take a stand. Understanding what's important, who needs help, who needs me. Giving meaning to my people and awareness to the streets. I empower, I encourage, I educate, it's a need. I'ma put y'all up on game. All you gotta do is take heed. Entertain you for an hour, you laugh and you might cry. I'ma always be transparent and I'll never tell a lie. So come along and join me. I have things to discuss. You're following your girl who found her purpose. You're following your girl who found her purpose. Hey, hey. You're following your girl who found her purpose. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Sabbath. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. I am so happy to be here once again in front of you to welcome to She Who Found Her Purpose. I am Linnell, your amazing host. And as always, I come with an exciting topic that's going to have you on the edge of your seat. Today, you guys, we're talking about colorism, and I have some amazing guests on here that are just going to share their experiences, share their perspective on this topic. And why not? Because it's Black History Month. So this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to talk about things that impact our community. We're supposed to talk about things that matter to us. And we're supposed to educate other cultures and populations on how they can interact with us in a healthy way. Because if we don't do it, who will? So while I'm getting started, you guys know that I always like to give you these important numbers because these topics that we talk about can really be touchy. They might get under your skin a little bit, and I never want to leave you feeling anxious, feeling depressed, feeling upset, whatever the emotion is. I want you to be able to talk about it. I want you to be able to get it out. So, of course, I'm going to always lace you with these numbers. If you're in LA, you have the LA Department of Mental Health that you can reach out to. That number is 800-854-7771. So if you need somebody to talk to, like I said, if you're just feeling anxious, you're depressed, you just want to maybe shoot the shit, this is the number for you to talk to if you're in LA. If you're in Kern County, you can call Kern County Behavioral Health and Recovery Services. That number is 800-991-5272. And I know I give these numbers because those are mainly the counties that watch me. I know there are other individuals that watch me in Atlanta, in Texas, in Michigan. I don't have the numbers for you, but I do have the suicide helpline. And you can always talk to that line because it is 24 hours. 800-273-8255. So you guys know that you can always refer back to these numbers anytime because the show is live right now, but it does stay on YouTube and Facebook. So remember to follow, like, and share She Who Found Her Purpose on both platforms. That was YouTube and on Facebook. So everybody can get in on these topics that we're talking about and put in their opinion and have fun with us like we doing every Saturday at 9 a.m. So, that was a mouthful that I had to say. So let me take a breath because before I bring these ladies on, I know you guys seen what the topic is about. Like I said, it's on colorism. And when we're talking about colorism, a lot of people really don't know what that means. And I want to, before I bring these ladies on, tell you guys what colorism is because I want it to really sit with you before I bring these young ladies on. So, colorism is prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. So, once again, it's different from racism. So, I want to make sure I say that because a lot of people think that colorism and racism are the same, and they're not. Colorism deals within the same culture. Racism deals outside of the culture mainly. When someone that is not your race is discriminated against you. Colorism is when someone inside of your race is discriminated against you. So I want you guys to think about that while I'm bringing my guest on. So these young ladies, two beautiful young ladies. I have four young ladies, but my other two guests didn't make it. I don't know. Maybe they was a little nervous. They might come on later. I don't know. But these two young ladies came through for me, and I appreciate them. The first one, of course, I had to make sure that we representing all these skin tones. We can't represent them all, but I represented the ones that I could. So this young lady is representing our light skinned women, our light brights, our beautiful light brights. We're gonna bring her on, and she gonna have something for me. But so welcome, Sharon, representing our beautiful light brights.
What's up? Glowworm here. Hello, how you doing? Good
That's
morning.
right. Good morning. Good morning. Happy to have you on. She is
Thank
always with the
you.
jokey jokes. That's why she on here because we're about to have fun today, y'all. Even though we're
Gotcha.
talking about a serious topic, it's always good to bring a little bit of humor into it because it's extremely serious. Good morning, Hazel. How are you doing? Welcome back. Welcome. Our next guest, this young lady, y'all, she bringing the spice. So I wanted her on here because she from the islands, and I always used to be like, oh, she is so pretty. When I first met her, I'm like, dang, she got this accent. And when you watching TV, and me, I'm a little dark skinned girl running around in the neighborhood. I see this girl come, and she got this accent and this beautiful smooth skin and this
And the hair.
long hair. Girl, you better shut your mouth. I said, she in the wrong place. Look, she don't need to be here. Look where she could. I said, we got too much competition now here as it is now. No, but she is beautiful, you guys. But I wanted to make sure she was on here to represent for our. I don't even know if I'm gonna let her come on here and say, exactly what her nationality is because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But she's representing our our let me just bring her on because I don't even know what I want to say. I'm getting tongue tied and stuff. We got LaShawn.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
So I see you're trying to figure out like, okay, what lane do I fit into? Because
Yes.
you have yourself, which I call chocolate, and
Okay, I
then
am. Thank you.
Sharon is like vanilla mocha,
Ooh,
you
shut up.
know.
Okay.
So I think if I have to get in where I fit in, I'd say caramel.
Ooh, okay. I love that because your skin is caramel. I thought you was gonna say like a spiced latte because I feel like you just I
Yeah,
don't know you
well,
spicy.
Well, see, summertime, yeah, definitely, I would say
Okay.
that. But it's winter here where I am, and I'm a bit on the lighter side this time of
Okay.
year. This time of
Okay.
year, I tend to get red.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
I
I
think that.
tend.
And what island are you from?
I'm from the Virgin Islands. I'm from St. Thomas. So the VI is
Okay.
actually like several small islands that make up the Virgin Islands. There's US VI and there's British Virgin Islands. And my family is from both BVI and the US VI.
Mm.
Now,
Okay.
I also have to mention St. Lucia because my mother is from St. Lucia and she's more of your complexion.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I remember your mother.
Yeah. She's darker.
Okay.
She's more Indian. She's very Indian, but on the darker side.
Okay. Okay. And
Yes.
I think
And she has that
when I
beautiful hair too. Her mom's hair
Yes.
was
yes.
beautiful and long
Yeah.
Yes.
and thick, if
All
I
of you
remember
guys when I
correctly.
seen you and your sisters,
Yes.
you were all always beautiful. And like Sharon said, your hair was straight. And for me, okay, yes, I had long hair, but it was on the thicker side.
I
And
used to
so I'm
straighten
like,
my hair.
oh,
Yeah, I
see,
was straightening
and
those curls out.
we didn't know at the time, because even when we got on right now, you're like, I'm embracing my curls, but
Right.
we're looking at you like this girl is the epitome of, well, for me,
Uh-huh.
what I want to be. She has
Uh-huh.
straight hair. She has this beautiful smooth skin, and she has this accent. And you guys had these
Mm-hmm.
bodies, and even Sharon. I was
Yes,
like, they bodies is like Coke bottles. I was looking like a
yes.
toothpick.
I was skinny.
Girl, no, you wasn't. I
No,
wish
she
I would have
wasn't.
put a
Nah,
picture
I was.
up here. Don't have me, but girl, you was over
Right.
there
Don't
looking
have
like,
her post pictures now.
yeah, I won't because I was in them. Look at me. No, girl.
Don't play. I got a few sitting right here in my box.
But
You know
when
what?
I moved out to Cali and I met you, Linnell, I was just in awe of you because my father's mother resembles you, but she
Mm,
never had the long hair. She had the thicker, more curly, more shrinkage hair. So when I met you, I was like, wow, she looks like my grandmother, but she has hair like an Indian.
Well, my grandmother is Indian.
Okay.
And so I believe that's where, well, I don't know if that's where the hair is from because also on my mother's side, her dad has white in him. I believe he's
Okay.
white and black. And
Okay.
so I think on both sides I have, even though obviously you can't tell, I
Mhm.
just have something there. Everybody try to say they got a little bit of Indian in their
Yes.
family. But
Yes.
but my grandmother on my dad's side really you can tell, you can see the Indian in her. She has hair down her back.
Mhm.
And I've always had hair. My children
Mhm.
have hair, but for me, I never once again was able to really embrace it
Mhm.
because I felt, oh, it's nappy. I can't straighten it. I don't really know what to do with it.
Mhm.
And my mom, because growing up 7 Day Adventist,
Yes.
I always had braids in my hair. I
Mhm.
didn't have things that maybe the other little girls had. We couldn't wear barrettes or different things like that. And so it took a toll on me because I just didn't know how to, I guess, handle it or take it. And so I
Mhm.
think that even hearing you now say that you looked at me and you were like in awe of me, I'm like, man, I was in awe of you. But it's, I appreciate you saying that, and I'm thankful for that because I didn't value myself. I have said that on every show, that I
Mhm.
don't think that I really did, or I didn't come into my own or start loving myself until I moved to Los Angeles, which was
Okay.
only about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And so with that being said, um I didn't, no one really spoke that
That
greatness into
into you.
me or that self love or told me that being dark skinned was beautiful. I always thought that being lighter skinned or having straight hair or like I said, wanting to have a better shape because I was thin. I was
Mhm.
thin until I was in my 30s as well. I
And
just
that's a
started.
blessing.
Yeah, and it is honestly because now with the weight, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I probably would have been very irritated, like if I would have gained weight earlier and then maybe have gotten. Not that I'm body shaming.
Right.
Everybody should love whatever shape they're in and love their whole self. But
Yes.
I just don't
But
know
we
how
know you were athletic, though. You were
I
really
was.
athletic. You
I
ran
was
track.
athletic for a little bit.
Yes, you was doing stuff. I'm like, I wish I could do that.
Mhm.
Oh,
You
well,
know?
see, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why we have these talks because you never know that. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here, I don't really want to say coveting, but I'm sitting here like kind of envious of you guys and what you're doing, and because of your skin tone.
Mhm.
And you guys are looking at me like, well, we wish that we were doing the things that you're doing, or you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I
Yes.
guess once again, you never know the impact you're having on someone else
Right.
or the impact that they possibly could have on you.
I always thought you were beautiful, Linnell, and
Mhm.
Thank
I
you.
loved your skin tone.
Don't
And
be saying that
another
just because y'all on my show. No,
no,
I
and
just yes.
another reason for it was because in my mind, your race was never questioned. It was never a question.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Oh
Where for me,
wow.
I was always faced with questions of what are you? And
Mm.
I
Oh.
heard that from the time I was maybe 5, 6 years old. What are you?
Hmm.
Like that's
Oh,
not
well,
a
I want to
that's
backtrack
not a
and then
question
say
for a
I'm
5 year old.
sorry. You're right, but I want to backtrack then because I started off by saying, like, I didn't know, but I didn't know how or you would want to be acknowledged, and I guess unknowingly, and just like Marvinette said, she said, the good old, what are you? She must have had that question as well. You
Mhm.
don't recognize these things or really know because, once again, I'm looking at you in a different way. I'm
Yes.
thinking you have everything and I know who you are and you're just beautiful. And you're thinking in a different way. You're thinking people are really, I don't, or did you feel judged or you just felt, how did you
Um,
feel? Or what word would you use?
I did not feel accepted.
Okay.
I often hear as an adult, "Oh, you're not black. Oh, you
Mm,
never had to struggle. Oh, you never had
Mm-mm.
to deal with
mm,
racism. You have it all. You have height, you have great skin, you have pretty hair. Um, so you have the best of it all, and not
right.
and them not knowing my experience and not knowing what I've gone through over the years
Mm-hmm.
of
Right.
always
That's
having
deep.
to not justify, but having
Explain
to
maybe.
define my
Yes.
blackness.
And really you can even say justify still because really for some that is what you were doing. You were kind of justifying your blackness and then defining your blackness. When you shouldn't have to do that.
Right, right,
Yeah, that's deep. I mean, and once again, for me, just being darker skin, I've never even thought about it that way because I'm thinking you have all the privilege, like you said. I'm not thinking from that angle.
right,
And so I feel bad. I mean, not like, but I really, and that's why I want to have these shows because we won't know how to change it
right.
and move differently if we don't have these conversations. Sharon, what about you and your experiences, or what do you think about what LaShawn just said?
One thing I want to say real quick though about us three, we kind of grew up together a little bit,
Yes.
and we never even thought to have these conversations when we
Right.
were going to church together. And
No.
it's kind of weird because I felt like I was in the middle because I wasn't Linnell's color. I wasn't what LaShawn was. I didn't have the exotic Caribbean. I got the is your dad white? And that immediately made me mad.
Mm,
I
right.
didn't like that because my dad was not white. And my mom is you and Linnell. My mom's like your color, a little
Right.
bit
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah.
So
Yes. I
how do
love
I,
to hear
I
that.
think
you know,
all three of us got chocolate mommies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
that
not me. I'm the
no,
only one. My dad is chocolate and my mom is Sharon's color.
okay,
yeah, your
And so
mom is.
that's
She's like my summer color.
okay,
yeah, yeah, right. So I'm like, well, she changes as well, but that's why you never really know the experience or the
Mm-mm,
background
right,
because
mm-mm.
even for me experiencing within my family discrimination because everyone else was light and I was the only dark one.
hmm,
So even having to deal with that and figure out where I fit in or just where what that dynamic was. Kind of like what Sharon said. And then I got with you guys and I'm like, dang, we're like all the colors of the rainbow,
yes,
literally. Because we had
yes,
Mary and then we have Kelly, and then we're all
Lighter
different
was a
in a
little
lot of
brown.
different ways. Light
yes,
A, we were different in a lot of different ways, coming from a lot of different backgrounds, bringing a lot of
Mhm.
different things to the table, which is what I think made us unique in that right as well. Good morning, Ebony, and good morning, Auntie. Happy Sabbath.
Oh, hey,
Uh
is
oh,
that Ed from
Marvinette.
last week? Tell her, hey, hey.
Yes. Okay. Marvinette got a word for us, y'all. She said, it's the assumptions for me. I've been
Mhm.
asked at least 10 times if I am my mom's caregiver instead of asking if I'm her daughter. Or the doctor saying, oh, your mom has XYZ. That's common in Black people. And I'm always like, my mom is not Black. Then it's the blank stare. Wow.
Oh,
Now,
Oh,
see, once
my.
again, that's just like kind of what LaShawn brought up, just that experience of people assuming
mm-hmm.
because of the exterior,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I think once again it's worse when it's coming from our people
Your
because
own.
we should know better. Yes,
Your
we
We
own.
should
really
know better.
should.
And at the end of the day, I always like to say, if something were to hit the fan, we all gonna be Black. They not gonna say,
Oh yeah.
okay, you from the
That's
Virgin
what I tell people.
Islands, you got 1% white, okay, you light skin. No, they gonna be like, y'all Black.
Yes.
They
So I'm
don't
gonna come over
care.
here and we all gonna be
That.
together. They're not going to try to separate the different characteristics, or oh, you have only this percentage, or
Yeah.
you're lighter skin. It's not going to matter. And I know that it started on the plantation. I know it started, when Master was like, "Oh, we're gonna have these individuals in the house, and y'all work in the field." We know where it started, but what
Yes.
we're talking about and what this conversation is, and hopefully it will start, is for us to stop that because
Right.
we've been doing it for so long, and
Yes.
even with us, we're still experiencing it, and we're
Yes.
not that old. And
Well, can I
people
ask a
under
question?
us are going to experience it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to ask you guys a question on what you think because, yeah, we do that to each other, right? But do you think that it comes from what others have done to us, and then we turn around and then we got to make some of ourselves feel better than the other people that are held down just like us?
Yes, I do. And the only reason I
Yeah.
say yes is because I know my trauma. And, I'm very open sharing on this platform. So for me, once again, from the time when I was young, I was told and taught that my skin was ugly and that I was not worthy. And so even when I met you guys, and I think me and Sharon have had this conversation, LaShawn, you have not. Look, I'm already, look, don't be smiling, Sharon, because you already know how I am and my voice already shaking.
I
But
know. That's why I just smile.
me, me and Sharon had this conversation, but I used to hate y'all. Look, not like I
Look
love you
at
guys. But I love you guys, and we're grown, and I could probably
Yes.
say this now,
Uh
but
huh.
not because of who you were, just because of what I thought you had and what
Okay.
I thought you were capable of,
Okay.
and it was because of your skin color, and that
Yes.
was another reason I reached out to you guys to be on the show because
Okay.
it was something once again me and Sharon had talked about, and but I had told her like I love you guys. I know that
Mhm.
we had a bond that I think no one would ever be able to break now. But
Right.
once again, that's growth. And
Yes.
we're adults and we have evolved and we know better, so we're doing better.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I was in a place where because I didn't have anything, I didn't have support. I felt like you guys had family,
Mhm.
you had love, you had siblings. I didn't have any of that. And so you guys were all I had. So when those
Mhm.
things were taken away from me, or when I felt like I wasn't a part of that, I did lash out. And I
Mhm.
did, I took that hard. And so I told Sharon and them, that's the time when I left the church, I got pregnant or whatever. And so even that experience was different than theirs because
Yes.
even me
Mhm.
being pregnant, I was shunned and I could not be a part of the church when they were accepted.
Mhm.
And not trying to get into religion because
Right.
no church is perfect.
Right.
But I say that to say, everyone has a different experience. And
Yeah.
that experience is why I'm the way I am now and why I do what I do and why I insert myself the way I do and why I have the voice that I have. Because I've been on the
Mhm.
edge and the end of a lot. And I did take it hard and it hit me hard and I was depressed for a long time and I did not have any support or any type of guidance to get out of that area. And I did it, I don't want to say on my own because I know God was there, but I did have people that I think supported me along the way that helped me to see that I was loved.
And
And
you
so,
you are. You really
and
are.
I know
Like,
that.
and you were then. We just didn't know better back then, being honest. And let's sit with that topic though about colorism in the church because it is there.
Oh yeah.
Because Mary got pregnant and was treated one way. You got pregnant, was treated one way. I got pregnant and I got treated a different way. And my mom and I had that discussion. I was 19, got pregnant, and it was almost like it wasn't that big a deal. But there were others who had their names taken off the roll, off
Mhm.
this,
Yeah.
for doing the same thing I did. Well, what was
Yeah,
the difference? Was it who my family was? Was it
right,
because of my color? Was it because, but in the back, I'm up here doing just what they do and having sex, and I shouldn't be.
Hmm.
So it is
right,
colorism in the church.
right. Marvinette
As,
said, "What did you think they were capable of that you couldn't do?" And I guess just like Sharon said, I mean, I guess live. Honestly,
Mhm.
I
so
felt
it
like
was.
I couldn't be me and I didn't know who I was.
So
So
it was
maybe that's what it
acceptance.
was too. And that's why I always say, right, when I moved, I realized who I was as a person. So that's when I started to really be me. So maybe even leaving Kern County, because that's where, once again, where I grew up and where a lot of my trauma started. So I felt like I could not be me. I couldn't branch out. I could not have a voice. It wasn't accepted or people didn't want to hear it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess I just felt like I couldn't grow. Maybe.
For
What were you gonna
me,
say, LaShawn?
for me in the church, when we talk about colorism in the church, um, I got chosen to be up front for different events, different things going on. Um, so I was very active and very much involved, and it wasn't because I volunteered to be.
Right.
I was told that this is what I'm going to do, and I remember we had a fashion show, and I was
Mhm.
chosen to wear the wedding gown for the fashion show. It wasn't something I volunteered for,
Right.
but I was chosen because of appearances.
Yes.
And so other young ladies would, even my sisters, would look at it as, oh, she gets to do everything. She gets to be in everything. She gets chosen for everything. And they may have wanted that acceptance. But for me, in my mind, I was thinking of it as I'm only accepted for because of how I look. I didn't feel loved.
Mm.
I didn't really feel accepted for who I am. I
Yes.
felt more like a commercial product,
Oh,
and
wow.
Wow.
you put her up front because she's the advertisement.
Wow. That's deep. See? Wow.
But think about this, that rolls over into our relationships
It
too.
does.
Yes. Which is why,
Oh,
once again,
wow.
and I sorry I used the word hate in the beginning, but once again, that's how I felt then. But that's why all that animosity probably was there because I felt as if, I'm where do I stand?
Yes.
And
And
if
that's
I'm
Hmm.
what
gonna if
happens.
I
And that's what happens when you get pushed into the limelight too, because you're
yes,
pushed into this limelight, you're pushed into the forefront, and then your friends and your family and your acquaintances kind of start to give you an attitude like, oh, she thinks
yes,
she thinks she all that. Oh, she
yeah,
always in everything. Oh, she always get picked for everything.
yeah.
You
That's
get picked
exactly what it is.
over them, and then so
Hmm.
you don't have that connection and that bond with your
Hmm.
peers because of being pushed in the forefront. And
Right,
so
right.
you actually feel alone, which is not very
Yes,
different from what you were feeling, Linnell.
yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was
But
feeling alone just for a different reason.
Right.
But this is kind of the same. I mean, it was
Yeah.
overlapping. And once again, as children, we don't know this. We don't have that insight. And nobody's
mhm.
directing us. And
Right.
if no one is pointing us in that right direction or showing us anything different, we can't do anything different.
Yes.
My auntie said, "You are beautiful. God made you beautiful. You will always be beautiful. You know you are my favorite niece. Life gave you these challenges because God knew in
Oh,
advance that you could endure. You are
Yes.
not a victim, but a victor. Don't ever
Yeah.
think otherwise."
Right.
Thank you, auntie, and I do agree. I do know
it's
now
so
that
motivating.
the reason that that I went through all of that is because I was meant for something greater. I
Yes.
definitely know that. I know that I have a voice, and I always say that before I think I didn't have one. So I would always be in the kind of like what we're talking about,
Yeah.
and now I don't accept that. Not that I want to be seen, but I know that I have something to say, and I know that people will listen, and I know that it means something, the things that I'm saying. And so now I am taking it in a different way. And that's why, once again, that's why this is called She Who Found Her Purpose, because
Yes.
I believe that I have found my purpose and I'm able
Mm.
to articulate things. I'm able to bring things to a light that maybe others aren't able to do. And so I'm not doing this for money. You know what I mean? I'm doing it because these topics are things that have affected me, and I'm sure they're affecting others, just like they've affected you guys. And they're
Yes.
all gonna affect us in different ways, and hopefully somebody will be able to get something out of this, you
Oh,
know.
the
um
beauty in you speaking your truth and giving a platform for someone else to speak their truth is it helps somebody else on their journey.
yes,
So
yes,
you find a connection. It's like I'm not on this journey by myself. We're connected.
right, definitely, definitely.
And
Hazel
Linnell, you as
said,
the creator, you're using this platform to help others, but at the same time, it's helping you
It's
heal.
it's healing.
yes,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
definitely. I always say that, and it does every time I get on here, and that's why I am emotional. But I tell people I am emotional because I used to have no emotion. I used to be my I wouldn't cry, and I was very stern, and I'm sure you ladies can
We
I
know.
really
remember
speak
that.
to that.
I do
Yeah,
remember
I was
that.
I
You were
was
the
very
serious
stern.
one.
Yeah, and I would not let anybody see any emotion. You will not see anything from me because I had trained myself that my emotion didn't matter. My response
Mm.
didn't matter. So since it didn't matter, I did not need to let anyone see that. And after, once again, I grew and I started to go to school and I started to get into my profession, I learned that that wasn't healthy. And all those
Right.
things that I was bottling up are the things that possibly put me into depression or had me, having anxiety attacks or the other things that I had experienced. So I had to learn to get those things out. And so now I'm overly emotional. I would,
Is there such a
but
thing?
I'm working on that as well. But it's just because I'm trying to find that common ground. So I laugh all the time about it because I cry when I'm happy, I cry when I'm sad, I cry when I'm having
Mhm.
mixed emotions just because I'm trying to figure out how I want to feel or how it's going to come out instead of being angry because that's what I used to go to before, you know.
I think all of that is a survival tactic. And
Yep.
so we shut down
Yes,
when we start to get overwhelmed,
definitely.
or we bottle up our emotions just to survive the moment.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
You're right.
and then as you heal, then your survival tactics change.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
And
That was
y'all, we're
perfectly said.
getting. I was gonna say some of us are in our 40s.
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
emotions come with that too.
I'm about to be
And
50.
Yeah.
I was just
Woo,
trying to put it
girl.
up there, but not out there.
And
But
you look good too, talking about I'm about to be 50.
Oh, thank
Girl.
you, thank you.
right. Like, come on, I'm gonna be 46 in April. We're not talking about that though.
Okay.
No, but y'all
Okay,
look
but it's
good.
okay. It's
That's
okay.
that 50 Shades of Black. I don't
You
know.
know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
But
you
think
still
about that,
passing for
y'all.
you still passing for 20 something.
Oh,
Talking about I'm
what?
gonna be 46.
Mm-hmm.
That's, look,
Not a
if I
wrinkle,
was,
not a Botox appointment, nothing. Look
Huh.
at
this is called
Okay.
technology. Technology makes things look amazing.
This is
And eyeliner.
called filter. No, look at I know. Just
it.
messing with y'all.
Y'all made me
Look,
forget what I was
Hazel,
going
look,
to say.
Hazel said, I dealt with it in the home. My godmother was a colorist. She paid for my abortion because the guy was dark skinned. So I use that
See,
against her. Girl, shut up. Wow.
no, she
See,
didn't. Let me calm
and
down.
that's what I'm saying. When you're getting it from your parents, from your aunts, from your uncle, from the elders,
Yeah.
then it's even harder on you, and you don't know how to take that into the community and receive it. You're going to always be
Mhm.
on edge.
Yes.
That's intense as
That's
well. And
just
then
not
your
right.
stepmother, that's gonna make you look at her, and that's gonna be a negative relationship and energy within the family dynamic.
Yes. In my family, especially on my mother's side, we well, in any black family have every shade, every hair texture
Mhm.
imaginable. We have it all. And in growing up, I realized early on that the lighter skinned, longer hair members of the family were treated better than
Mm,
the others.
mm.
It
And
And
happens.
so
that's
you heard things like stay out the sun.
yeah.
You gonna mess up your
Hmm.
skin.
Hmm.
You heard things like you can't have dreadlocks because your hair is too pretty. Like how dare you lock your hair when you
Oh
have
wow.
beautiful hair? You can't have locks because I started locking my hair at 12. And
Hmm.
my aunt, who's a colorist, who happens to be very light with soft hair, she combed those dreadlocks out of my head. I
Mm.
had more hair on the floor than I had on my head, but she meant that those locks were coming out
Oh
because
wow.
my hair was too valuable to be
Mm.
locked. Like, how dare
Mm.
I? I had
But
such
look
a
at what kind of trauma that causes.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so
you know
then you learn that your value is in
your
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 skin tone
appearance.
and your hair texture or the
Yep.
length of your hair. And so eventually I rebelled
Yes.
against
Yes.
all of that. And I cut
Hmm.
all my hair off. Like, I'm over 40. Y'all can't tell me nothing
Right.
now.
Right.
I'm cutting it all off. I'm getting a
And
fade.
it looks
And people
really
had a
good.
heart attack. Like, oh my God, she cut all
And
her hair off.
you
She got a
still and you're
boyfriend.
beautiful.
She's
And
gay.
yeah, that's what they
Mhm.
say.
She's
Hmm.
this, she's that. Calm down. It's just hair.
Right. And I think that's what a lot of people now are getting to, because on that other spectrum, I felt like I put everything into my education, because I always was told my appearance once again didn't matter. And I didn't have anything to say, and I was going to be in the back. So I needed to be smart. I needed to make sure that I always, had an education, and I always had some type of foundation to fall back on, because my appearance wasn't going to be it.
Hmm.
And
I,
then, at
I
that time
feel,
when we were growing up, the color purple came out.
yeah.
So
Girl.
everybody was, calling me silly and saying I look like, and that hurt me to the core for years. For years, I was just offended. I would hear that. I would be so offended. But honestly, I think just last month, honestly, or
Hmm.
maybe the end of last year, I was reading an article or looking at something about Whoopi Goldberg, and they were talking about this same thing, talking about colorism. And they were talking about how really Whoopi Goldberg is a beautiful woman, has a beautiful shape, and she
Hmm.
keeps herself up, but how people viewed her as ugly because of how they depicted her in that movie.
Yes.
And that we could never get away from viewing her as that ugly little girl that no one wanted, that was abused, that was belittled, because that's how the color purple depicted her.
Portrayed her, yes.
And no
But in life,
education.
go ahead. What'd you say, Sharon?
And no education. She didn't have no
Right.
education in that
Right.
movie.
But she's extremely intelligent. She's one of the wealthiest women in the world. She's beautiful. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen her and
Hmm.
I was saying, I know that ain't Whoopi. I even have to, I said, okay, now somebody tell me I'm looking like Whoopi. I'll be like, yep. Look,
Yeah.
I do. I
Yes.
need that Whoopi money. I need that
Yeah.
Whoopi glow. Because her
Yes.
skin is
Girl.
Yeah.
banging. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, and even though she covers up her body, that body is banging. She just don't want nobody to
Yeah.
see it
She
for
want to
whatever
hide it.
reason. She do want to hide it, but that body is banging. What
Yes.
But
Marvin was
Linnell,
saying,
look
Marvin?
at this. Look at this real quick. You were always smart. You always had straight A's. You had to fight tough, right? At school.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Being yellow, and I know this, and I haven't said this to many people. I know this is why this happened to me. I graduated high school without even taking algebra because I was able to talk my way out of taking classes. I
What?
was able to, girl, what? People don't know this. I've never passed algebra. I
Mm.
left BHS taking career and consumer math. I was a remedial math tutor my senior year. That's how I got out of algebra. But I
Mm.
think a lot of it had to do with my skin color and me smiling and stuff because that just doesn't happen.
Right,
So
right.
I wasn't, so people were looking at you one way and looking at me like I should be smart. But real talk, I barely graduated high school because I was out at first and second lunch, you know?
Right, right.
So I didn't get the smarts and they're looking at me like I'm smart, but I'm not. I mean, I wasn't then.
Yeah, you are now.
I am now.
For
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
me,
you
I
are.
think my school days, I was held at a high standard. I was
Mm,
expected to excel. And
Yes.
when I
super.
fell short of that, when I fell short of honor roll, or I fell short of straight A's, I really beat myself up about it because I know
Mm-hmm.
that's what was expected of me. That's what was required of me. Um,
Mm.
and so I did more damage to myself than anyone else did. I was more critical
Mm,
of myself
Yes.
than anyone else was. And everyone was critical of me, from
Right.
my mother, my sisters, my family, my teachers, elders in the church, people who held position in the church were very critical of everything that I did and
Mm.
how I did it and what I said and how I said it.
Right.
And so I was very careful and cautious
Mm.
about everything that I did because I became obsessed with perfection.
Yes,
mm.
yes,
And
yes.
Okay.
And
so
I think,
I would not want to do something unless I knew I could do it perfectly. So
yes,
That
that's
makes sense.
a unrealistic burden that I put on myself that has followed me into my adulthood.
I agree with you. I think 1,000% on that because I did the same thing. For me, it was just all about making sure I could master whatever it is I was doing. And if I couldn't master it, I wasn't doing it. So if I knew I could do it, that's where I was at. So once again, I think that's what made me people reach out to me and feel like I was their go-to education wise, or when it came to something that was, that had to do with anything as far as work or, white collar stuff. That was me because that's what I prided myself in. And so I could see what you said, I can see that in me. I was very hard on myself, probably harder than anyone else, even though others were hard on me as well. But I was hard on myself because I held myself to this standard because I felt like I definitely couldn't meet light skinned people or even brown people at their level. So I needed to meet them at the education level to make myself stand out, if that made sense.
That makes
Um,
sense.
Marvinette said, I didn't get treated better by my Black family. They treated me differently, like an oddity. She said, I remember one time my dad took my brother and I to his job, and a lady said, oh, here come Otis with them pretty little mixed kids. I was around 7 years old, and I still think about that. And yeah, because I remember even saying, because I have mixed cousins, a lot of them, because the majority of my family is mixed. Um, I always used to be like, man, they're better than me. Like I'm the only one in the family that's not mixed. I'm the only one that doesn't have this pretty curly hair. I'm the only one that's not light skinned. I'm the only one who can't speak another language. So then I'm trying to ask my aunt to teach me Spanish. And I'm trying to, talk to my uncle. He was Puerto Rican. I'm like, okay, talk to me, in this language, because I'm like, I gotta the edge is once again that intelligence. I was always trying to make sure I had this other angle I could come in at because I was dark. And I felt
Yes.
like beauty wise or just being able to have that privilege, I was never going to be able to do that because my skin is not going to change. It's always going to be the same. And so I have to, I'm going to look like this forever. So I have to do other
Mhm.
things that are going to make me marketable,
Hmm.
you know? What,
I'm happy to see now that we've got a lot of different representation out in the media with different skin
Yes.
tones. And
yes,
Yes.
yes,
finally getting makeups in the right
Finally.
colors for people.
yes, fine.
Finally.
I'll bring that back up in a minute. But it's funny you say that because um I was talking about the young lady, oh, and I can't remember her name right now, that was apologizing for taking all the roles from everyone, Tandy Newton.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and how, she really felt bad and how she shouldn't even have to apologize for that.
Right.
And she's saying, my mother is just as dark as you guys, my father is white. But the fact that we still have to do that is just messed up.
Yes.
totally messed up.
And it shows once again that colorism is real. It's
It
there and
is.
it plays a huge part in our lives today and in how we
Absolutely.
move and how we think.
And it's different across the country too, because I was born in Colorado. In elementary school, I was the only black kid in most of my classes.
Hmm.
And then when I moved to California, I'm like, whoa, hey, like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Nothing
Right.
against Colorado, because I've got a lot of black friends, from Colorado, but hitting California, I saw everything,
Yes.
Right. Right.
like, and I could recognize all of this. And it was weird though, because when I got there, it was like, oh, you're the yellow girl from Colorado.
Hmm.
You're
Hmm.
different, oh. And then the guys wanted to get with me, but the girls wanted to fight me. And I'm like, all I did was step on campus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Fasika said, what's most important is not where you've been, but where you're going. As you
Yes.
all said, your experiences are helping others who are going through the same thing. I too was pregnant at 19, was rejected by our church and kicked out the choir because there was no support. My other church
Mm.
friends were praised for going right to college, but I felt like an outcast. Even at home, the rules was to get an abortion or move out. I moved out, had my babies, and joined another church later. The church is not, oh, and I'm sure there's more, but we don't have that. But I'm sure, you know, the I don't know what that, I can assume what I know what the end of them dots would be. But but yes, we all have had our own experiences with that. It's
Yes.
unfortunate that that type of stuff happens.
Yeah.
But I am thankful that there are a lot of different platforms, even the Reclamation Project, with
Yes.
Stan and with Paul, and they had me come speak for them as well. And that's a platform for individuals who are not necessarily, they want to go to church, but they haven't found a church probably that they I think fit in, I guess, right now. So you can go to their church and just be able to get that word, and I
Yes.
think that that's great. Marvinette said, I never took algebra either, Sharon. She said, girl, I took business math and barely passed that.
Come on, business
You know,
math. Let's go.
I took
And
algebra. They put me in trigonometry and I almost didn't pass that. So
I took trick twice.
did you
I
see?
failed miserably the first time and I just barely passed the second
See,
time.
I passed it the first time, but I barely passed. But I can't believe how did y'all? I don't know because they was telling me I wasn't gonna pass if I didn't take that.
Trig was like a whole
I
other language to me. I just did not get it.
I mean, I guess I could if they did it now. I start crying. Like I'd be like, no.
I couldn't do it now. Like I didn't know math, but then tell me why I ended up in banking and now I'm in mortgage.
Wow. Wow.
Well, it was your niche. Maybe that whatever math you took, it set the
This is bad.
foundation.
Yes.
It set the
Yes.
foundation.
But I
Absolutely.
want to tell y'all one more thing though, before I forget this. Linnell, when you were talking earlier about not having support and all that stuff in high school, you got seven of us for sure. That's gonna be me, Delana,
Yes.
Dashima,
Yes.
Sharon, oh, that's me, right? The Mary,
Little
Lyle.
Yes.
Because y'all, we thought we was gonna die together.
we
So
did.
we are never going to be apart. Okay, we're always
Right. We
connected.
never imagined that
Yes,
we would be living in different parts of the US
of
or
the
the
U.S.
world.
We thought we were
Because
Yeah.
gonna get shot together though. Do y'all remember the talent show where
I
we thought we were
remember.
gonna
I was
die?
so scared. I can't say because y'all know I'm the ghetto one of the group. So I'm the one sitting there like, why is y'all ducking? I'm about to go to the party. Where the after party at? Y'all running talking about they shooting. And
Yes.
I'm like, oh yeah, they shooting. I look, they
I'm
are.
pissed. My pantyhose got ripped. Had to
Oh
take my
my
shoes
goodness.
off.
Uh
I was so
So you have support,
emotional that
girlfriend.
night.
yes, it
Were
was.
Emotional.
you?
So emotional.
What?
Like I did not was in survival mode. Like get out. Where's the exit?
Mhm.
Get out.
Mhm. See, and maybe that's. I
People were
mean,
trying to hide. I was like, let's get
maybe that fall into colorism as well because I'm dark
Well, and
skinned
look
and
at
I
our
was like,
group.
oh, this is normal.
yeah.
And y'all and Sharon light skin and you from the islands and y'all was
Yeah.
like, I'm about to die. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I was about to die, y'all.
Oh,
I, I really did. I really felt like that was normal. I was like, oh,
But look at our
they're
group, y'all.
shooting.
We had different shades in our group.
Yeah, we
yes.
did.
We did not discriminate with each other.
Marvinette
We
show
made
was, and the club I went to got shot up. Right after that, got shot
after.
up. I knew where I was going.
Yes. And I
I
was
knew where
mad
I
at
was
you
going.
for going. I was hot. When you
I
said
think
you went to that, I was
I think
pissed.
within the group there was something that I admired about each one of the members.
Yes,
So
I agree.
yeah, I admired everybody's voice. I admired Sharon's height and her long
Yes,
legs, you
right.
know, Linnell's chocolate complexion and her long hair and her
Oh,
heavier voice. I love that.
thank you.
Delana had such a wide range. I love
Yes.
that about her.
Ooh.
And she was just so loving and so open and so accepting of everything and everyone.
Yep.
And then Mary had an incredible personality and she
Yes.
stood out with her personality. She was not afraid to take the lead. I was more like, let
Mm-hmm.
me stand here in the background and do
Right.
my whoop whoop. Don't give me no lead. Don't give me
Right.
no solo.
Me too. I used to be like, I don't want to sing in the front, but
No,
I'll hit this note right here and be right on the side. And
yes, yes. And I'll do my two step and I'm gonna sing
right.
my note. And that's all I wanted. I did not want to be in the front. I did not want to solo anything. Sharon was a little more brave. She was scared, but willing.
Yes.
I
Yes.
hated solos, y'all. Well, and I guess people don't even know what we talking about, but we had a group together, y'all.
Yeah, we was gonna
Whoever's
be
watching
famous. We was
this.
on TV, all
Yes,
that. We could, and honestly, that does fall into colorism as well because I honestly feel that even when we were on TV, remember
yes.
when we were asked to be on TV and we did the little clip for the
I
talent
got it. It's
show
on
commercial?
Facebook.
I know you do because you always put it on
I
Facebook.
saw the clip.
Yeah, I've seen that clip a million times. I look a hot mess with my sponge curl. I had a sponge curl like this, you guys.
That's
I
a
don't
hot
know.
mess. That's what was in. That
It
was
was
the thing at the
My
time.
hair was so nappy. That curl was
That
so
that was
curled
that
up.
was
It looked like this Carmex right here.
it was
Like
tight.
I
That
just
girl was
took the
tight.
water out. Okay, you guys. It was a mess. And I was on TV.
oh mercy, mercy, mercy.
But we
Mm,
survived that. But yes,
yeah,
I thought we was gonna be famous. We was singing. We were good. You know, we could have been, but we all got pregnant. And once again, that's why we started talking about pregnancies and changing and transitioning, because it was a life-changing transition at that
Yes,
time.
yes.
And we did it. We
And let me
transitioned.
let me add something about colorism too, is because when I became of age to start thinking about having children, in my mind, I was not going to have children with a man who was lighter than me, because I didn't want my
Oh,
children to be questioned about their race or their identity.
wow.
And yet, still, even though my ex husband is Linnell's complexion, he's chocolate, he has a mixed background, which you can't tell by looking at him, but he has Italian in his family. And so I
Mm.
did not get away from the colorism I was trying to get away from because I have two chocolate babies and I have one Sharon's complexion. And I
Oh,
am
okay.
so thankful that she doesn't have the hangups and the issues that I had when I was growing up, because she's grown up in a different time where
Right.
society is more inclusive and
Yes.
better represented.
Mm-hmm.
And so she has not had a problem with embracing herself. And I'm
Right.
thankful for that. Um,
Yes.
my youngest one, she kind of reminds me of Linnell, my youngest. She's in between my oldest and my second child. So my oldest, my boy, he's chocolate all day long, no question. My last child, she's kind of on the brown side,
Okay.
and she has super long jet black straight hair that reminds me so much of Linnell. And she doesn't question herself. She
Oh,
doesn't
that's
seem
awesome.
to have an issue as to, am I mom? Like, she never came to me and said, "Mom, am I black? Am I white? What am I?"
Hmm.
Questioning where she belongs in the world.
Right. Right.
Whereas with the middle child, with the lighter skinned one, she came to me in like kindergarten and said, "Mommy,
Mm.
they told me I'm not black." And I said, "Well,
Oh,
what is your daddy?" She said, "Black." I said, "Well, what is your mommy?" She said, "Black." I said, "And baby, you ain't got no choice.
Right.
That's what you are.
Right.
There's no question.
Wow.
There's
Mm.
no question." And other than that moment, she's never come to me after that with a
Okay.
question as to who am I, what am I, or even shared with me that she had to explain herself at all.
Right.
So
Right.
mm,
That's
I'm
good.
thankful for that. We're making
Right.
progress.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And I guess speaking to, once again, every time I hear you talk, I'm like, dang, my experience is so different, but similar.
Hmm.
Because
mm,
I felt initially, I'm like, I will never date a man that's light,
Hmm.
because they did not accept me. They did
mm.
not want me. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So as I was growing up, um, actually, let me take that back a step, because if I'm really going to be honest, I always thought that I would have been with a white man. And I used to say
Really?
that a lot, yes, because I thought black men did not like me and they weren't
Okay.
attracted to me
Okay.
because of my skin color. And
Okay.
so that's why for so long it took me a long time to date and different things like that, because I just didn't have that connection or that engagement with black men. And so I
Mm,
always thought I would marry a white man. And when I had my oldest daughter, and her dad is lighter than me, but and I always would say, like, I don't know how this happened, like, that's, it bothered me. But then I was like, okay, I'll never be with a light man, I only like dark men. And so I guess I can see how colorism, even though we're talking about it and saying we don't want it and we don't want it to be inflicted on us, sometimes we do it ourselves
We do.
yep.
We do.
unknowingly,
Yes.
and so
Mhm.
that's how it continues to be a revolving door, because a lot of these things I think we're unaware that we're doing,
Yes.
because
Mhm.
they're unconscious things.
Right.
And so even with you saying that, I had to think like, man, I said that, And I should not be saying that because there's nothing wrong with light skinned men or mixed
No,
men or
nothing at all.
anything like
Not at
that.
all.
It's just my experience in the past. And so I have steered away from dating individuals that look like that.
You
Marvinette
know
said,
one thing? Oh,
oh,
go ahead.
she said, my oldest is 28, cream colored, and has hazel eyes. People always ask her what she is.
Mm.
See,
Yep. And Marvinette, she's been on my show. She is Indian and black. Marvinette, correct me. Put in the comments because I might not be saying everything. I know you have Indian in you. I know you have black in you. I don't know if there's anything else.
I wanted to share something that definitely was traumatizing to me as a young adult, as a young woman. When my marriage failed,
Mm,
my husband, a comment that he made me feel, because that might not have been what he meant, but made me feel
mm-hmm,
that he chose me as his wife, as the mother of his children, because I was as close to white as he could be, but still have a black
uh-uh,
wife.
oh
uh-uh, uh-uh.
wow.
No, no,
I,
no, no,
yeah, no,
You know,
no.
no, no, no,
Look, I'm like, I don't know about that. I
now
don't know.
he
You
didn't,
know,
he
I
didn't, he didn't
no,
say it
no.
that way, but that's the way I felt when he made the
yeah,
comment. You know,
that's
like
deep, and that's
like she's still black, but she don't look
Not
black.
black enough, yeah, or not
yeah,
as
but
black.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm.
he'll have, pretty babies.
But
See, and
see,
I
that's
hear a
the
lot
thing
of
that
people
people
say
don't
that.
think about, though, y'all. They don't think about a black woman can make any shade of child. So you
Yes.
don't know what you're
Yes,
gonna get.
Right.
I got one
exactly.
caramel baby daddy. Yes, I got three baby daddies, whatever.
Yes.
But one is caramel,
Yes.
one is darker than Linnell,
Uh-huh.
Mm,
and then the other one is just a little like LaShawn's color.
Hmm.
right.
And my five kids range. I didn't
Yes.
Yeah.
get a chocolate baby to the last one, so I was excited. And when we walking in the store, they looking at us like, what is going on? Because I'm bright and he's chocolate as hell. But
Hmm.
people don't think that they don't think about it. Black women can make any color
Any
baby.
color.
Yes.
And that's why we are the mothers of everything. That's why they say
Yes.
that. Because
Yes.
we are
Yep.
the only race that can spit out a baby that will be any color. It can have any color
That's
eyes,
true.
any color skin tone, but nobody else can do that.
Yes.
No.
That's true.
And we
So
get talked about and we talk about each other, but that's almost like a magical gift.
It is.
Nobody
it
else can do
is.
that but
Yep.
us.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Marvinette
And
said
it
yes. Grandma was full blooded Native American. Grandfather was white. Daddy was all Negro. So, okay. So that's what I'm saying. And her babies, like she said, her daughter is 28. She's cream colored, has hazel eyes. She's beautiful.
hmm
And I'm sure and when they see her with Marvinette, they probably like, okay. And Marvinette's grandbabies look just like Marvinette, curly hair, kind of like yours, LaShawn. You can
yes.
tell that they're mixed, but
Yes.
when you see, you're like, okay. Then you're like, okay, well, what's your mama? Like
Yeah.
Marvinette said, that's probably where people come in, and that is
Yeah.
offensive. What are you?
They
What you
want
do?
you to
Yeah.
break it down. They want you to
Uh-huh.
explain it. Like, how black are you?
Right, right.
And who
Let me
But
is
it's
tell you.
not
black?
good enough. Yeah,
Right.
no.
Ebony said, I personally believe that everyone possesses some type of beauty, no matter the skin color or hair texture.
I
My
agree.
family is mostly fair skinned with a fine curly texture of hair. Growing up, I was like, okay, I got good hair. I'm mixed with Indian, laughing out loud. However, as I started growing up, I realized that I didn't possess anything more than the next person. I remember wanting to get my hair done in a freeze, and I just knew it was going to be popping. When I went to the shop, the stylist told me that I couldn't. Ooh, girl, I know you was mad, girl, because them
Yeah, you
freezes.
gotta have a little nap for the freeze.
Yeah, you gotta have a little nap for the freeze to make it go. Like even if what's the other one?
The finger
Finger
wave.
wave.
The finger
That
The
waves.
finger
finger wave
wave.
be popping. That finger
Yeah.
wave be on point
Yeah. I wear
too.
finger waves, and you could see my scalp.
See? Oh.
I did it
It's
anyway,
not-
but it's not cute.
yeah. Anitra said, "Oh, hey, girl. Hey, Nitra." She said, "I rejected my family's colorism. My grandmother would give me hats for the summer. She didn't think it was offensive, but later I recognized it was. And
Mhm.
as an older adolescent, when told in the summer, you're getting so dark, I told them I liked it. And I
Mhm.
did because I realized I glowed. I was more conscious of being attractive than light. And I was told often that I was pretty or cute by enough people to believe it, which
Mhm.
helped my self esteem. But I knew personality would be key." Woo! I like
Oh
that.
my
I
goodness,
like
that's
that. We
nice.
can't see the rest of
Yes.
your comment, but I really, really like that because you changed that narrative for yourself
Yes.
at a young age. And I didn't come into that, like you said, until later because a lot of older Black men used to tell me that I was a beautiful chocolate girl or I was going to grow up and be a beautiful chocolate woman. And I didn't get that from a lot of other people. And I used to be like, these old men perverts. Not that they weren't, but at the time, I'm thinking, they telling me this, and I'm little, and now I'm thinking they were just trying to speak greatness into me, and they were doing the things that I
Mhm.
think they knew the Black women in my life were not doing, and
Mhm.
that they
Mhm.
seen that divide or they seen that I needed that, and
Yes.
so they were trying to speak that greatness into me, I think.
Absolutely.
Well, Marvin said, Marvin said they Mexican. Girl, be quiet, please. Ebony
Sweet
said,
Joe
"Girl,
and
I
now
wasn't
you.
ascended yet. I wasn't finished laughing out
Okay.
loud. Oh, that's why the end wasn't ready. My
Okay.
okay, because we was wondering. Oh,
Okay.
Marvinette laughing at Ebony. Ebony
Yeah.
said she said I had to have a perm. I couldn't believe it. A perm, and you had because you got good hair.
I used to wear perm.
Did
Right, but
you?
she did a permit
I did.
for a freeze.
Yeah,
What
but
do
you
you
know
have a
what?
I
perm
used to
for?
wear I used to wear perm to straighten my hair because what would happen before I started perming my hair, if I straightened my hair, by the time I walked out of that bathroom,
Uh huh.
I had Diana Ross going on. It was
Hmm.
poof. It was just it would be big as soon as I left the bathroom. It would just fluff up. And so I started perming my hair so my hair would lay down. And I
Ah,
I
Wow.
was
just to
more
break the
I was
curl.
more accepted wearing my hair straight than I
Right.
was wearing my hair curly.
I only got,
Oh
I think,
wow.
two or maybe 3 pounds.
Mhm.
And that was a wrap. That wasn't no more. My hair got nappier.
Yeah,
That didn't work for me.
because going to the hairdresser, I had so many bad experiences because the hairdressers did not know what to do with my hair, so they would
Yeah.
burn my hair. That's what would happen.
Yeah. See, Ebony
That
said that's
happened
what
to
I'm
a lot
talking.
of us though. A
Hmm.
lot of
Yeah.
us growing in who were born in like the 70s and 80s,
Yes.
they didn't
Hmm.
really know what to do with our hair. So
Right,
either we
right.
had little ugly pigtails or they put a I had a curl. I don't know what I wanted a
Ooh,
J
I
curl
never had a
for.
curl.
And I was afraid of that pressing comb because I sure did the
See?
Oh,
pressing
see.
comb. Burn my forehead, burn the back of the neck, burn the top of the
Yeah.
ears.
My mama pressed my hair and then I had braids looking like I was
Toxic, come here.
because my mama was
Oh,
from
sorry, y'all.
Ethiopia, so she knew how to braid. So I was running around there looking like probably a real African at that time with all the French braids on my
And
hair.
my mother couldn't braid.
Really?
She couldn't
Girl, my
braid.
mama
So
was a
we
pro.
got ponytails all the time.
Oh,
With all
okay.
three
You
of
know,
y'all and all that hair, she couldn't braid?
she couldn't braid. Like when I say
Mm.
she couldn't braid, like she could do two cornrows or one cornrow, and that was it. You couldn't get no style.
Mm-mm-mm.
So we
Oh,
had to learn to do hair ourselves
see.
before YouTube tutorials.
See, and the thing is, you had your sisters. It was only me.
Yeah,
So I didn't have anybody to practice on, and my
we
mama
did
was
each
doing my
other.
hair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
see.
I actually took an iron that you iron your clothes with to straighten my sister's hair because I don't know. I think my mother hid the pressing comb or something
Oh,
happened,
stop it.
Ooh,
and we were trying to sneak and straighten our hair to go to church. So we used the
the
iron that you
iron.
iron your clothes, and my mother caught us and said, "Look, okay, I'm gonna buy y'all some tools." So she got us an electric pressing comb. She got us a curling
Ooh.
iron.
She said,
I
you're
don't
not
think
about to mess up my iron.
right.
Yeah,
I don't
not
think we
not
had
the iron.
flat irons yet. Flat irons hadn't come out yet.
Okay, probably the ones on the stove. Oh, the curlers on the stove. The
Yes.
what you
Yes.
call them? Yeah, I know what you mean. The ones that I can't use them.
The
You can have a flick
Marcells.
of the wrist. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Marcells.
I
You
ain't.
gotta have a
My
flick of the
wrist
wrist.
ain't. Mm-mm.
My wrist don't flick like that. Quincy said, "Oh, she said Ebony wanted a perm because of her, and she didn't need it. That's how most people was getting them because they didn't need it and burn your hair out because you're trying to be like somebody else."
Yeah. Yeah.
Marvinette said, "My hair used to be a mess. My non-black mama was lost as hell when it came to combing hair."
Oh yeah.
I mean, but you made it through, and now you got
Yes.
the curls popping, and we embracing, naturals. So
Yes.
that's what you're doing.
Yes.
Nietzsche said, "What really told me colorism has impacted my family is when in college, my mother, who was darker than her mom and brother, told me, 'You know, your friends think they're better than you. All my friends are light skinned.' I had never given that thought, and it was rather jarring. In that moment, I realized how she must have been treated by family. Someone in there had planted that seed. And that's normally where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from either your personal experiences, which could be from family, it could be from outside school, work, whatever, or it could just be from society,
Yes.
something you've heard, seen, learned, because it is all around us.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, y'all, today, okay. We talked about colorism. We had a mouthful. We didn't went a little over an hour. It was an
Yes.
amazing conversation.
Yes.
But I
It
want
was
to, before
amazing.
Yes, before we get off, I want to know if you ladies have anything that you want to say to the audience that can potentially help them change their view on colorism or just change their views, period. What do you guys want to say to the audience today?
I wanted to say, at growing up, I somehow learned to hate myself and not embrace what made me different from anybody else. And I
Mhm.
Mm.
had to unpack that baggage as an adult. And
Yes.
therapy has been a great tool for
Yes.
me to get to a better place. And society today has made it easier for me to accept myself, accept my curls, accept my weight, my age, everything about myself. Um,
Yes.
and because I've healed some and I continue to heal, um, it has allowed me to help other people in accepting themselves because I'm in healthcare and I'm in
Oh,
women's
okay.
health. And when
Oh
I hear
yeah.
a woman putting herself down, I stop her immediately. I don't care if
Yes.
she black, white, brown, purple, blue, green. I stop her immediately and go, "Oh no, we're not doing that. Mm-mm.
Right. And that's
No,
how it should be. I do the same thing. It's
Good.
affirmations all
Mhm.
day long. We're strength based over here.
yes, yes." I
Yes.
think when you allow yourself to shine and you find a space where you can love you, then it's easier for you to love others from your overflow, and that gives them permission to love themselves
Yes.
and be true to themselves and shine as well.
Yes. Awesome. Beautiful.
I like
Beautiful.
that.
Yes. What about you, Sharon?
For me, one thing that helped me is joining diversity committees. So,
Mhm.
for example, my job, I'm on a diversity committee. So, we've got everything from an African American network group, we've got, LGBTQ community group, we've got an interfaith group. So, joining those different diversity groups helps me understand a lot of stuff better. So I think if people did join diversity groups or local organizations outside of their work, you know, that it will help other people not try to reflect colorism on each other.
Right.
But I just say diversity groups for me worked as well. But y'all gonna be mad at me really quick, okay? Don't be mad.
We're not mad.
I'm sending this to you.
Girl, don't make me hold on. Let me see. Cause I'll
No,
blow
I'm
it up.
sending it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. LaShawn has never seen this one. You have
Oh, I
never
was gonna
seen
say
this
because you could
one.
have sent it to me right now, and I would have put it up.
Oh no, it's coming to you as at this moment. Watch, your phone is about to go. I had to, y'all. I couldn't resist. I
Mm.
had to share it with you, but I couldn't.
But
Okay.
on an end note, I will say that be in California, in Bakersfield, there was a lot of diversity, and I didn't feel singled out, and I didn't feel a need to explain myself. I also grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and there's diversity there, and I did not feel a need to explain myself there either. But other places that I've lived in the world and visited in the world, yeah, I had a lot of explaining to do.
New York is great
Yes.
for different colors. I love the different cultures, the
Yes,
different everything out there. So you could, yeah, I love it.
yeah,
Uh-oh, I can't share this right now. I was gonna share it, but I was trying. But before we get off, first of all, I want to say thank you, Ebony. She said I love you, beautiful Black queens. Thank you for sharing and keep pushing the
Oh,
platform. I
yeah,
definitely will keep pushing the platform. I
yes,
really appreciate everyone coming on every Saturday and joining me. Thank you for putting things in my inbox. Before I go into all that, I just wanted to play this song for you guys before I go because I told LaShawn, it's Black History Month
yes,
and it's Black History every month. But I want
yes.
you guys to know that you're beautiful. I wanted to make sure I told you
oh,
guys good morning because I started your morning off talking, but I want to make sure that the rest of your day is amazing as well.
And we
So I
all
want you
are Black
guys.
history.
Yes, that you are
yep.
Black, beautiful queens, Black, beautiful kings, whoever's watching,
Yes,
and I want you
Uplift and
guys, I just
support
want to
each
say good
other
morning,
yes.
gorgeous.
Let's just
Yes,
continue to uplift each other.
and
definitely.
network within our own community as
Yes,
well.
Yes,
yes,
continue to just speak greatness into one another. Continue to not put each other down, to change those narratives and correct people. It's okay. You
And
don't have to be
allow,
rude
yes,
about it, but have these conversations in these spaces. Love on yourself, love on your natural self. You don't have to have makeup or anything on to be beautiful.
right,
And wake up
right.
every morning and tell yourself, good morning, gorgeous. Okay?
hello.
Yes.
All right. I love you guys.
Love
And thank
Oh,
you
I love
guys
you.
you
for
guys
being on the
Love
show.
too.
you
Okay.
guys. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
No problem. Thank you. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me this week. As you guys know, I'm going to put these banners up. I want you guys to continue to follow, like, and share She Who Found Her Purpose on YouTube and on Facebook, whichever platform that you're on. If you guys have a topic that you guys want to talk about, make sure you put it in my inbox. You can put it either on my Facebook inbox or you can put it at she who found her purpose at gmail.com. So don't be scared to get your questions out there, your concerns. Don't be scared to be unapologetically you. Don't be scared to love on yourself, love on your community. Don't be scared to be Black. It's Black History Month, y'all. So be the best you can be. Next week, I'm going to be back talking about some more uplifting things because we want to end Black History Month on an amazing note since this is the month they gave us. But like I said, it's Black History Month every month. So continue to celebrate your Blackness, continue to celebrate you, and just continue to be great. I love all of you guys. I appreciate you for coming out today. And I'll see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. You guys have an amazing day.